Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. Julian here with another special episode. Yes, I've been able to put out a couple of special episodes because of the NHL break, so no waiver wire video for the second half of this week, which is nice for me to actually do something a little bit different and put out my third buy low and sell high video of the season. These are players that you're going to want to target in trades and players that you're going to want to trade away. Before I jump into the content, guys, please leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks once again, guys, for helping me hit 7,000 subscribers. Such an amazing accomplishment, and I want to thank each and every one of you that watch these videos and like and subscribe these videos for your support. Let's jump into it now, guys, and let's take a look at some players that you might want to sell high on. And first on the list is Charlie Coyle, who's on a crazy streak right now. And he's ranked 70-ish in most leagues. Now, the reason I think that he's a sell high, first of all, his shooting percentage right now is 17.2%. His career average shooting percentage is 11.2%. So I don't think this is sustainable, even though he's getting better deployment than he's pretty much gotten in his entire career. It's not super sustainable. His on-ice shooting percentage is also 12.3%, which is just also a little bit unsustainable. And let's be real, guys, when Charlie Coyle goes cold, he is absolutely horrendous to hold on your team because he doesn't put up a whole lot of peripherals, which is really rough unless you have face-offs in your league. So if you can sell him now that he's super hot, you might be able to fetch a pretty nice price for him. Next guy that you want to sell high on this list is Logan Thompson of the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, Logan Thompson is a sell high because he played pretty well while Adin Hill was injured. But now that Adin Hill is injured, especially if you're in a points league, he's not going to do as well just because he's not going to be starting as many games. At the most, he's going to start half the games still in Vegas. Half the games in Vegas is still good if you're in a categories league or something like that. I think Logan Thompson will still be pretty decent, but he definitely is not going to return the same kind of value in a points-based league. I would try to trade him to someone who doesn't know better in a points-based league and thinks he's still going to get all the starts going forward and try to get something good for him. Next guy I have as a sell high is Yegor Sharangovich of the Calgary Flames. And while I do love Yegor Sharangovich, he's one of my favorite players right now in the league, and I love seeing him break out and everything like that, I don't think it's overly sustainable. His shooting percentage is almost 20%. It's 19.9%. His career average is actually 14% though. So he's not going to be scoring as many goals going forward. It is definitely going to have some regression. His on-ice shooting percentage, though, and his PDO are not that high, which means he's not getting that lucky. So more assists could be coming, maybe in exchange of goals, but still, the current value that he holds is definitely going to be a season high for you. So if you can trade him for someone who has more value, absolutely go for it. But he's definitely not someone that you absolutely need to sell if you're going to hold on to him and you're not getting any good offers. The next guy on this list is Blake Coleman, and I cannot believe how amazing Blake Coleman has done this season. That completely came out of left field. Honestly, he's never played this well, even when he was on Tampa playing with some pretty elite players. He's ranked 47-ish in most leagues right now. His shooting percentage is 17.9%, which we've never seen from him. His career average is 10.2%. So we're going to see a lot of regression in all likelihood. His on-ice shooting percentage is also pretty high at almost 12%. His career is actually 8.8%. So his career on-ice shooting percentage is actually quite low. And his PDO right now is 103.3. So all the stats are saying that he's getting lucky right now and he's going to regress. He's incredibly highly ranked right now, so get rid of him as soon as possible before he starts to regress and be just a mediocre waiver at best. Next one, kind of a fun one, because he's definitely not a must-sell by any means, but it's a little bit of a speculation here. Mike Matheson is my next sell high. And I own Mike Matheson, and I'm actually not going to sell him. I don't think I'm going to get enough value from selling him to actually make it worthwhile. But something that I am worried about with Mike Matheson is the Habs, towards the end of the year, they're not fighting for a playoff spot, right? And if Boston University doesn't make a super deep run in the playoffs, Lane Hudson is not going to be playing hockey anymore. If Lane Hudson's not playing hockey early in April or late in March, it's possible that the Habs call him up and play him on the top power play in Montreal. The majority of Matheson's points have come on the power play. I believe I saw the other night that Matheson had the second most power play points by a defenseman in the entire league. So that's definitely something to consider. If he loses that top power play, it's definitely going to hurt Mike Matheson's value. Now, Boston University, luckily, is in a really good spot. They're first place in their conference, so they definitely can make a deep run. So I'm definitely not saying you have to sell Mike Matheson. It's just something to be aware of because he could lose some value if that happens. Jumping into some buy low targets, and the first guy to buy low on, and this is an obvious one, guys, John Tavares. He's got no points in his last 9 games. His shooting percentage is only 7.1%. His career average is 12.8%, so he's shooting over 5.5% lower than his career average. Yeah, I'm going to go and trade for him right now to a frustrated Tavares owner, and I'm going to reap the benefits because that's going to be a steal probably, because guys holding Tavares right now are not happy, and you can probably offer very little for him right now. A little bit more illustration to that fact that he's going to be regressing in the positive sense. His on-ice shooting percentage is only 10.5%, whereas his career average in Toronto is 12.1%. So there's definitely some room for positive regression. My next buy low candidate is Alexander Ovechkin. He's got 2 points in his last 4 games and no goals in his last 8. He's got a 5.4 shooting percentage, which is absolutely insanely low for Ovechkin standards. His career average is 12.8%, and he's honestly shot even more above that in the past few years. So 5.4 is unprecedented, and I'm expecting him to turn things around. The on-ice shooting percentage says the same thing, only 9.3%. His career average is 11.9%. So definitely some better things should be happening for Ovechkin in the second half of the season here. And honestly, the reason I'm buying low on him is not even because I think he's going to turn it around that much. It's because the Washington Capitals have an incredibly good playoff schedule. So he's definitely someone that's a pretty solid target for the fantasy playoffs. Next, I got Philip Forsberg, who's ranked 15-ish in most leagues. So it's kind of crazy that I'm including him as a buy low right now. But Philip Forsberg has only 3 points in his last 8 games. And yes, obviously, because that's an anomaly for him. He's having an amazing monster season, and I'm expecting that monster season to continue. But if someone is a little bit worried, oh no, he's not scoring as many points as of late, make a move right away, because Philip Forsberg is definitely a top 2 round type talent and will definitely keep returning top 20 value for the rest of the year, guys. So if someone's a little bit worried about his production going down, snipe that trade right now. Next guy I have on a buy low list is Jack Eichel, and he's having an insanely good year. Like, he's been basically a top 10 player, and he should continue to tear it up upon his return from injury. Yes, he's injured. That's why I have him as a buy low. If Jack Eichel's owner is kind of scraping and struggling to make the fantasy playoffs, he's going to want someone who's healthy to actually help him make the playoffs. If you can give him a decent player that's healthy, they may just give you Jack Eichel for him, because at this point, they might be desperate to actually make those fantasy playoffs. So definitely grab him, because especially if you have playoffs that end in the very last week of the season, which you shouldn't, but if you do, the Vegas Golden Knights have an incredibly good schedule for that week. So definitely something that I like doing if you do play in the last week of the season. Jack Eichel is a very, very good trade target. The final buy low I have is Tom Wilson, another Washington Capital, because the Capitals do have a very good fantasy playoff schedule. And Tom Wilson right now is underproducing. His shooting percentage is only 10.7%, when his career average is 12%. So he should get a few more goals going forward. And his on-ice shooting percentage is also quite low at only 7.8%. His career average is 10.5%, and his PDO is 96.8, meaning that Tom Wilson is getting unlucky. He's getting very good deployment, top power play, top 6 deployment, and the points definitely should start coming. Tom Wilson is someone that you can almost get for free at this point. I'm sure owners are very frustrated with him because he hasn't done anything in a little while. But the hot streak, I promise you guys, is coming. And he definitely makes for an excellent hold for the fantasy playoffs, especially if you have hits in your league, because he does give you a pretty excellent floor with shots on goal and hits every single night. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed the content today, please drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks once again for helping me hit 7,000 subscribers, guys. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.